This may start with the highest sin count before even the first page. 5 sins for Perlmutter's handling of the X franchise, 4 sins for the number of issues in this miniseries, 3 sins for being the first part of a trilogy, 2 sins for that trilogy being Inhumans vs. X-Men, and 1 great big ol' sin because Marvel can bite me right in the hairiest part of my... But I actually like the first cover, so 1 sin off. I'm harsh but fair. I just drafted 7 different rants about how oversimplified this is, but I'm just going to give it a sin and point to the fact that I'll have a rant video up on my main channel soon enough. Just like with the New 52, when this comic says 1 year ago, they mean 1 year ago in a timeline that cannot possibly be the same timeline that we saw during and following the Infinity event, where Black Bolt released the Terrigen Mist. Well, Bobby, considering that you've never been on a team with Multiple Man, that's like me saying that I've never heard CinemaSin Jeremy sound so scared. It's sort of pointless is what I mean. No, the 3-in-1 is right. What the hell is Goldballs? God, I should sin that name by itself, doing on this mission? Has X-Face been piloting by sight over the Atlantic this entire time? Wow, I didn't realize till just now that placing the Inhumans in Japan for this bit is going nana boo boo to every time the X-Men went to Japan. Also, that ship design is lame. The Uncanny Inhumans. What does it say about your air quote protagonists that their dialogue can easily be switched to being that of a bad guy? There's no way to say this without offending someone, but goddamn, that is a very niche group of people who shouldn't have powers. Oh, they're seeing kids because they're seeking hope because their lives are so bad. Sorry, but most of them want power, not hope, especially being civilians in the Marvel Universe. This is the 3rd time in this book that when someone makes an actual point, they get shot down. I never knew until right now that X-Face is just Fred from Scooby-Doo. Think about it, white bread leader that doesn't care about the dangers, and even when signs that something's wrong, will keep everyone going forward. For no logical reason, here's Hydra. Oh, and they have gunships. They really wanted an action beat in here, didn't they? Just remember this panel when the random death they threw into this issue comes back in a couple of years. That's right, they killed Madrox. Why is this getting 5 sins? Because Madrox was retired, married Layla. He had his happily ever after. He wasn't involved in X-Men Schism or AVX or any of that crap. Literally bringing him in was the biggest whatevs who cares to X-fanboys. Why thank you for the exposition. It's not like we learned that 50 other times elsewhere in this comic. If only you'd listened to Magic at the beginning, dumbass. Action, excitement, boredom! Yeah, your stubble seems extra down today. Seriously, the Inhumans are so cult-like here, it's unnerving. I agree. They didn't think of or care about the ramifications for dousing the world. Yet somehow you'll be the asshole here, Scott. The sin here is that this could have really been the iconic image for the series if they didn't deify the Inhumans and bastardize the X-Men. I wanna like this cover, really I do. The hourglass symbolizes time is running out, with several X-persons in it, and Medusa holding it. However, the next actual story page in this, Medusa doesn't even know that mutants are dying because of this. Yeah, I know, right? It's almost like the idea to bury most of the X-Men was a sloppy idea. I'm no biologist, but if the molecular composition changed enough to go after the mutant's DNA, then why wouldn't it also change how it handled the Inhuman DNA? That's it, comic's over. Lame resolution, but it's better that cooler heads prevailed. Well, that's out of left field. Her people aren't the ones in trouble for being an endangered species. Again. You know what, I'll take a sin off for a badass line, but I will sin the fact that she does not in fact fight for peace in this comic. I knew it'd be lazy writing for X-Face that would cause a real war. Seriously, Scott would have teleported them directly to accuse Medusa. This planet-wide thing is short-sighted, is what I'm saying. Bunk! Bunk, I say! I hate this writing for X-Face, but the subtext here is saying that X-Face actually feels that humans, those who hate and fear them mind you, are part of his we protect our own ideology. The sin here is that it comes while trying to make him the bad guy. Oh hi, strong guy in Wolfsbane. I'm sure there'll be no explanation where you guys came from, huh? I'm just going to add an additional 5 sins for every time someone is shrugged off when they ask a question in this series. See, the Inhumans are actually showing that they want to help, which even someone with a camera phone can prove. I'll be taking another sin off because this actually works really well to show that they are in fact trying their best. I know it was telegraphed with the "we can't do this alone" last panel, but I'm really trying to find good things in this, so a sin off for Storm helping to save the day. I'm also going to quickly slip out another sin here. While Madrox was a stupid choice to die, I can get behind the feels as a fan of X-Factor investigations. Point for magic, but sin for the fact that Psyche, the leader of the X-Men outside of the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning, has not contacted Medusa. He's not this goddamn stupid. So basically you're saying what you just said in Emma's mind message to the world. Spinning our wheels already, are we? Will putting all the mutants in the area asleep be a good idea? Everyone on the planet just heard that X-Face basically declared war, but sure, it can't backfire in any way. Hey look, the Inhumans plan backfired for making it seem like they're attacking mutants. Also, there's now video footage from Madrid, but will it show Inhumans and mutants alike working together to disperse the T-Cloud? Of course not. Can we all agree that this is just not a look Magneto will do? He's not Loki, unless I missed something huge in the Cullen Bunn solo series where he was at in this time period. Another really cool cover if this whole thing is Emma trying to take over the world using a dying Cyclops, which she isn't. Starting a new issue, this is just a really lazy way to remind us that mutants be dying, yo. But in context, that literally means he said that he'd help, then he asked where Cyclops was, and it's just Emma being a bitch. How did they put the Sentinel to sleep? Oh, don't worry, Storm is always understanding when allies decide to not even shout a heads up before knocking out a team under her command. Call him Downer because when the mutants wake up, he'll be down. Hard. Okay, you want Magneto to contain everyone in Madrid. Stupid, but fine. How the hell would Sebastian Shaw be able to do that? His power is being able to absorb kinetic energy to strengthen himself. Or are you suggesting he's back at being in charge of the Hellfire Club? Either way, a really stupid name drop. This scene is just stupid when you see the twist at the end. Bringing in a mutant not seen in the post-Day and Ed comics could only be a good sign, right? Do you think the Storm waking up to unconscious X-Men lying around her happens enough to not be totally terrifying? Yeah, I doubt it too. More importantly, if every person who was flying at the time was knocked out, why is no one actually hurt? This comic really hinges on the mantra, it's better to beg forgiveness than ask permission. It's lucky every member of the team has a quick, easy way to the roof, or else this line would just be silly. The X-Men have every right to be pissed off, but come on, Bobby, that's just silly. Remember, children, if someone does something to you non-consensually, get over it. It's that easy. See, the Inhumans are fantastic role models. I think Crystal's butt is starting to deflate. Yeah, you should totally do the thing that got you into this mess in the first place. Don't worry, guys. He'll get over it. That's really cool that Magneto brought some help, but considering only about half of this team is in the A&AD comics, I fear we may have fodder on our hands. So I think now's my time to ask how the Terrigen Cloud has stayed a giant fog bank and not dissipated into the atmosphere. Not to mention, if you have tens of thousands of people breathing it in willingly in every city, wouldn't it be getting smaller as well? No, I'm not suspending my disbelief for this comic. I really feel sorry for Alchemy. Why? Because the big problem of this comic is that this is an explanation comic, set before the comics proper that came out a year or two ago. So if you aren't in those comics, chances are you're dead. Sorry, Alchemy. No pleather outfits for you. I don't think the cover artist actually thought this cover out. If they're trying to use Black Bolt's antenna as absorbing Psyche's optic blast or even channeling his voice, that's one thing. But no, that is an energy shield around his head. I hate to alarm all of you, but there seems to be a 3-story tall bull in the mist. Crystal, you haven't moved all the time Mags was telling Storm she was on the wrong side of this. Why would you even think that they were on the same side? And here's where I can bring up the stupidity that both Inhumans and X-Men have teleporters, who could have literally went, poof, we need to talk. You can't have fall damage now. Consistency, learn it! Poor Honky. But I'm sure that since he sacrificed himself to save the world from the cloud that was still there in the known future, it's not completely pointless. Ha 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 ha. It's time to vote on who has the derpier, angry, sad face. Let me know in the comments! Yeah, haven't you been paying attention this entire book? He's been trying to save the X-Men, not mutant kind as a whole, or even humanity. Nope, just the X-Men. Awesome, story resolved, no need for further fighting since now it's just a red cloud with some rain. Oh right, the Inhumans are also religious zealots when it comes to their cloud. Green or die! V for Vendetta, eat your heart out. I truly wish this moment was in a better book. I'd have cried like a baby. Why would you bury him on Mur Island? I know this is catty, like several of my other sins, but come on, he deserves to be buried in Westchester, with the Xavier Institute next to everyone else, especially Jean Grey. Alex showing up here would be a deep reveal if he wasn't in the opening cast of characters. For the first time in this comic, someone actually had the right idea. Scott's been dead since the first issue, seriously. That's the same look I had on my face when I finished reading this comic.